You've installed R and RStudio, and you're ready to get working. Let's get oriented to what you'll find when you open up RStudio. The first pane that we'll focus on is this pane that's in the lower left of my window. This here is the console. The console is where you can type commands in R and press return, and your computer will run them immediately. So for example, let's type 1 plus 1 in the console. When we hit return, it'll spit back a result, 2. The console works just like any other R code, but usually we won't be typing code directly into the console. Instead, we'll be typing up here in an R script editor or a Quarto Markdown document. Let's create your first R script editor document. Go up here and you can click R script. This will open up a new document. This document is just like a plain text file that contains a series of codes. So for example, I can type 1 plus 1 here, and then I can click run, or I can hit command enter, and then it'll run that code down here in the console, just as though I had typed it in the console. The advantage of working up here in an R script is that we have a record of all the code that we've run in the order that it was run, so it's easy to carry out our process again. Now if I flip over here to this other tab, I've copied in some code from the course website. Often in this class, we'll be using the tidyverse package. The tidyverse package is a set of functionality for R that's put together in one common package, and you can install this package. If you haven't done that yet, go to your console and type install.packages, open parentheses, and then put quotes around the word tidyverse. When you hit return, you'll see that your computer is going to do a bunch of stuff. Here it's going to give me a little warning. I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. And it's going to run some stuff and make any updates it needs. Once you've installed packages, you can load them by running this line, library, open parentheses, and then the name of the package. So we've just loaded all the functions that exist in the tidyverse package. We'll spend the next several videos going through some of these functions. The first thing we're going to do is to load some data from the course website. This code is also available on the course website, and I can run it by highlighting and clicking run. So what did we just do? We called a function. This is the read CSV function. It reads in a comma-separated values file. Inside the parentheses, we have a set of arguments that we pass to our function. In the read CSV function, there's one key argument. That argument is called file. We're going to tell it the file that we want to read is a file located at this URL. This could have been a location on your own computer, but for our purposes, we're just going to read it directly in from the course website. So we've made a call to read CSV. We've then stored the output of that call using this little arrow operator, a less than sign and a dash that together make an arrow, in an object. This object is called table1. You can see that this object now appears over here on the right side in our environment. So now we're pretty much ready to work with stuff. If we want to look at table1, we can type it down here in the console, table1, and have a look at what's there. We have data on 14 countries where we have the ratio of 90th to 10th percentile of incomes. And we have a measure of GDP per capita expressed as a fraction of the US GDP per capita. We also have a column life expectancy that we aren't going to use in these videos, but you could use if you want to make a graph of your own using these data. So what you've learned in this video is how to get used to how RStudio is laid out. You learned how to create a code file here. If you want, you can save your code file with Control-S or File Save and save it just like you would save any other file on your computer. I suggest creating a directory for our class where you can save all of your files. We've also learned about the environment where we have various objects. Objects are just things that are stored in R that we can access at a later time. Now that you're oriented to RStudio, you're ready to go on to the next video to begin making your first visualization.